Hello hustlers, this is Danny and you're watching The Hustle Kingdom. This video is about self-education versus formal education. Now when I say the word education, in most of our minds you form a picture of a physical institute where you go and sit in a physical classroom, attend live lectures, give assignments, quizzes and exams. But that's not education. Education is the values you learn, the skills you develop and the knowledge you gain. Not some fancy college degree or good GPA, which is generally considered as education. To understand it better, let's look at the outcomes of formal education or degree. It could be money, skills, excellence, networking, socializing, friends, or respect. Let's start with money. Now, what do you get paid for? Understand it better, you must have seen two people graduating from the same institute with almost same GPAs, but after years when you look at them, one of them is earning let's say $5,000 per month and the other one is earning $50,000 per month. So what's the difference? The difference is that they are not getting paid for their degrees or good GPAs, they are getting paid for the value they input in the society, or let's just say the company they're working for.
It is significant to understand that the value you input cannot exceed the value you get. For example, if you input $5,000 value, you will get $5,000 or probably lesser than that. So to get more money, you simply have to input more value. For example, if you work for 2 months, your input value becomes $10,000 and hence more you get. But if somehow you can input the same amount of value in a month, you can earn twice the amount you're earning right now. This is what I refer to as making your value more valuable.
So the question here is that can't you input the same amount of value without a good college degree or good GPAs? Of course you can. Instead, I believe that you can input much more by self-educating yourself. If you come up to me and tell me that you have an excellent set of skills but no formal degree, and then there's a person who has an average set of skills but a formal degree, there's no way he could be earning more than you working at the same place. Because you don't get paid for your degrees or good GPAs. I am emphasizing on this point again and again because it is really important to understand this, so I'm going to repeat it one more time, that you get paid for the value you input in the society or the company you are working for. Most of us get education as a job security and degree is a sort of insurance for them. But you can never succeed with that mindset. If you want to be more than just an employee who works every day from 9 to 5 and is always running after promotions and trying to impress his supervisors, you have to be more. You have to make your skills, your value more valuable. You have to make your skills your insurance. Your job security should be based on your skills, not your degree or good GPAs. This actually explains our second and third point, skills and excellence, because you can get any sort of skill or excellence without getting a formal education or degree. Because education is education. You can get it from Harvard, you can get it from some local university, or you could get it online for free. Education won't change. For example, if you want to learn an accounting concept, do you think that concept would change if you're getting it online for free on YouTube? Of course not. Besides that, our education system is so flawed that most of us don't even learn anything during our education period, and when they enter their practical life, they start learning at that point, instead of learning when they were actually supposed to learn. We usually study one night before exams and prepare everything and rote learn just to pass or get good GPAs and don't develop any skills or learn any values or get any real education. You don't get any real education, you just get marks, GPAs and a degree at the end, but no real education. A study shows that on an average, a CEO reads 50 books in a month. Now that's self-education. And no, don't worry, I'm not asking you to do that. But I'm trying to explain that the people you look up to, the people you want to be, the people you get impressed by, they're not made by their formal education. They are made by their self-education. They educate themselves. They educate themselves. I've heard so many people say that to be successful, there's a certain amount of luck involved in that. But I don't believe that. Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, all the creators, innovators, people who've changed the way we see things, there was no luck involved in that. They self-educated themselves. They taught themselves skills. They failed again, and they created something new. And you can never do that in a formal education system. Do you know why? Because you can never create something new when you're taught to follow instructions. A place where if you make a mistake, you're seen as a disgrace. If you fail, they will penalize you. They will tell you that you've done something wrong, but humans are made to flaw. You're supposed to fail. You're supposed to fail again and again and again until one day you succeed and create something new, something original, something that changes the way people see things. You need to be really honest to yourself here. Not anyone else, but to yourself. You have to be honest and ask yourself, what skills are you actually learning in your education system? Are you getting any sort of skill or real education? Moving on to other major outcomes of education: confidence, socializing, networking, friends, etc. This is actually an easy one. I will confront that I too have been a victim of formal education, and I will be very honest with you here. I've always been that shy kid. And formal education system never helped me improve my confidence or attain better socializing skills. But for those of you who think that formal education system helps you build up your confidence, I'll tell you what. You give me your single semester's fee and I'll send you in so many tours, trips, boot camps, seminars, workshops, networking seminars, where you will learn so much about socializing, networking, makes more friends than you will ever do in your 4 years formal education. And guess what? You will have a fun of your lifetime and have stories to share. If anything, formal education system makes you less social by stressing you about completing your assignments on time, your quizzes, your exams, and makes you less confident by highlighting your flaws and creating a fear of failure. Moving on to the last outcome of formal education, which is respect. Now, this is probably the most difficult one to argue against because it isn't really an outcome. Our ancestors followed this education system and it eventually became culture, where good GPAs are seen as education, where degrees are seen as education. The only way I see to fight against it is to educate people on what education really is. Because that's the only way we can fight against this flawed system created to keep us in control. Because if everyone started self-learning, if everyone started developing skills, if everyone wanted to be an entrepreneur to start their own things and learn and earn themselves, then we will run out of interns, employees, or basically the people to hire. We will run out of them. So it is very important for government and the other officials to create this education bubble out of which none of us could fight against and come out. I don't know how else to explain you where fishes are asked to climb trees and monkeys are asked to swim. You just can't be successful with such an education system. You need to self-educate yourself and do something on your own, and if you don't want to be like every other employee who will never be satisfied with what he does because he's just following instructions, he's just working for someone else's vision. You will never have your own vision. You will never be allowed to work on what you believe is the actual thing or goals. You won't have any goals. You would just be helping people with vision to achieve their goals. You will be helping people with goals to achieve their vision, to achieve their goals. You would just be doing that your entire life if you don't self-educate yourself, if you don't step up and do your own thing, if you don't dream yourself, if you don't have your own goals. I will conclude this video by saying that if you're getting formal education, then stop depressing yourself over good GPAs or good grades and start exploring different fields. See what you enjoy and have fun. And if you're graduated, I cannot emphasize more on how important self-education really is. Because you can't create something amazing, you can't be successful if you're following instructions and doing what every other employee is doing. Develop skills, make your value more valuable. Because as I said, there are people who are getting $50,000 for their 1 year's work, and then there are people who are getting $50,000 for their 1 hour's work. Big difference, right? Because the value they input is more valuable. In my next video, I will teach you how to get self-education and how to learn anything on your own within few days. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe now and click the bell icon below so that you don't miss out on great value and consistent content. Stay happy and remember that hustlers don't just work hard, they work smart.
It's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.